Yeah, I got nothing to give away. We'll start properly in a minute. Hi. Hello. Looks like we're starting to get some people in here. Yeah, we'll start soon in a minute. We're just waiting to get a few people in here. Right, who's in here? Alright, we're starting to get some people in here. Oh, that's not good. Right. In the shot, yeah, there we go. Yeah, so basically we're going to be doing some reviews. Some people sent me some videos and we're going to be reviewing their techniques. One's near enough perfect and one's got a little bit going wrong but not too much. So we're going to have a look at that in a minute. And yeah, it's just any questions from you guys. Yeah, if you're asking about your thumb and your index finger, you do need really to keep it pretty tight in. If it's dipping, it's hard to do actually. I'll see if we can get my little camera on this next shot to see if we can do this. Here we go to the top. That's it. There we go. Yeah, you don't want to be dropping this down at all. You want to keep it nice and tight. It's actually something I struggled to do quite a lot when I was younger. Because it's actually for some reason quite hard to keep it there. You just want to move it all the time. I don't know if you can see it from there. There we go. It's very easy to dip it and actually to just try and maneuver the shot around by playing it like that. So you don't really want to be doing that too much. Usually when I play the shot, so hang on, I'll just come around here with the camera. So what I'll be doing, so I'm lining up the shot from back here. Sorry if I've made this incredibly wobbly. So I'll come into the shot and I'll already know my point on the ball around about the size of the tip. You work it out. So I'm aiming about there. So I'm lining that up. I'm looking at it all the way in, and when I get to the shot about here, I just check quickly I'm striking the cue ball in the middle, and then I'm back looking at that point on the object ball again. But it's massively important to know exactly where you want to strike the cue ball, because that's mostly what can go wrong on the shot. Hang on, what are we doing? Chan Allen, hello. Hi from Hong Kong. We've got people in from all over the world. You don't know how to aim and cut the cue ball and you keep missing. Right, we can look at that a second with a load of stuff we've got. And I'm just going to put this back over here a second so we'll go back to, stick this back to the bottom. Order. There we go. Back on the main camera. Right. When you're lining the shot up, the biggest problem people have, especially with a cut stroke, but we'll look at a straight one to start off with. So if we've got a straight shot like this one, you need to imagine, which is why I've got this handy little thing over here. You imagine this is the cue ball, and we're going to be hitting it like this. So the cue ball's got to go there for us to pop the ball. If we're over here, the cue ball's got to still go in the same place. And we're going back to the other camera again. So let's say we're trying to pop this. So we're coming in, we're looking at, which side's the camera on this? That's it. That should work perfectly. If you can see right along the cue there, we should be able to. Now, if I get this straight on the end, now to pop that ball, you can see from here, I need to be lining up there. Now, what I usually do at this stage is work out where the cue's going here. That's going right through the middle of what is essentially a bauble. That's just a bauble I've stuck and painted white, but anyway. So to hit, we know if we follow the cue all the way through, we're going to need to hit here to pop the ball. So we can bear that in mind, and we can play the shot to strike that point on the object ball like that, and then we're going to pot it. Now, similarly, if it's a thinner cut, and we're looking, if you look all the way along the cue on a shot like this, to pot it, you'll see where the cue tip would need to be to pot the ball. So you can just imagine when you're playing the shot that your tip is going to not even hit the white. You're going to play the shot. You can imagine you're hitting the red with the tip of the cue, for example, on this one. So if you imagine you're hitting the red right here where we're just lined up with the tip of your cue, but because the white's bigger, it's not going to be exactly where you think it is. So that's what this is all for. So if you imagine, we can see exactly along the tip of the cue, exactly where we needed to strike there. We can line that up, and hopefully I'm going to pot it. No. Camera was a bit in the way there, guys. Oh, thinner shots. We haven't done thinner shots. So if it's thinner and the tip's going to miss the ball entirely, so let's have a really thin shot here, like this one. We're playing the shot from here. We can use this right edge, if I can hold it still. I'm roughly in the right place here to pop the ball. Imagine, for example, this edge, where's that going to be? So that's about there. So we can line up the right side of this cue ball to roughly where I lined up there. Now I'm not going to get anywhere near the pot because I have no idea where it was, but if you do that, then the pot goes in. Right, let's see if we've got any more questions a second. Definitely, I'd say with snooker cues, if you're looking at buying one, I would definitely try to go somewhere to have a look. I definitely wouldn't try and buy it online because you don't know what you're going to be getting, and even if you get a really good cue, you don't know how good it's going to be. Order. No. To bottom. There we go. See how the... You're talking about looking at the object ball may cause your line... Ah, I see, yeah. That is one of the difficult things you've got to deal with. So glad to see you've seen all the other videos. So what you're saying, and this is quite a good point, is when you get to this stage on the shot, you're down, you've lined everything up, you're playing it, and you're looking at the object ball, but then you may be coming over here this way and playing on the left hand side, and then you miss the pot. That's difficult to get used to. You just got to make sure once you get to this stage, you've got to know where you're hitting the object ball so well that you can look at the cue ball and then look back at the object ball and still know exactly where you were hitting on the previous shot, and that really isn't easy to do. That takes a lot of time to get used to that. Thanks, Chan. I'm not actually in a city, but I'm somewhere in the south of England. That's all I usually tell everybody. $20 seems to be... Right, okay. What I actually started doing was this really stupidly simple exercise, because like you said, I couldn't get more than a 20 break. So I started doing this, and it's all cue ball control to a certain amount. And I started doing this really simple exercise. Just make sure you play every shot exactly right, because what you've got to do is put all these reds in order without the white hitting a cushion. Very, very simple. So you just play one shot at a time. The white's not allowed to hit a cushion, so you've got to be exactly spot on with every shot you play. So if you go too far up the table, if you don't get high enough, then you're not going to be in the right place. So you've got to keep... I can't believe this is still going. I'm rushing this so much. Yeah, we see, eventually we've underdone it, because there's no way I'm getting from there onto the black without hitting a cushion. So that's where it ends. And if you can keep doing that and get hold of that, you start to get more like 30 and 40 breaks. And I remember, I think the first time I ever tried doing that, I did it for about a week, and I played a match, and in the first game, I was about 13 at the time. I had my first ever 30 break in a league match. This is actually quite a good thing to practice, because it means you have to be really concentrating, especially playing the shots up from the black and getting the white exactly where you want it to go. And the important thing is, when you play a positional shot, similar to this one here, you don't, you're really aiming to get the white where you want to go, and you're not sort of thinking about whether or not you're hitting it too hard or not. You're just playing the shot. And if anything, you always, like, every time you play on the black, you want to be playing up high for the reds. And in this in particular, like you say, I was moving down there because I didn't want to go low on the shot. And again, I haven't got high enough. I don't think we're high enough there. Don't think we can rescue this. Nope, no chance. Thanks for saying my technique's totally good. Unfortunately, I don't know how to say your name. Yeah, if you can clear consistently, that will seriously help you. I'm a bit sorry, as we dropped out there for a second, we're back. Right, we're back. Rhino Preacher, did you have another question? Is that, am I saying it right? Helping with side, okay. Anything in particular when playing with side? Just potting or just any particular shots? Or just playing a shot and still potting with the side in general? The object. Oh, hang on. And we've got can't pot a ball in the centre. But I think we had this question before. We'll look at that in a second as well. Right, let's start looking at side just for a second. We'll look at all those other things in a second. Right, I'm going to change the camera over while we're doing this. Okay, which is the right one? Right, okay. Okay, let's look at it like this. Then, hang on, I'll just swap the camera over so you can see. Okay, that's going to be bright. Okay. Let's get up there. So let's look at this shot, for example. Bit straight. Just make sure we can see it. Can't see it yet. Hang on. To go a little tiny bit closer, otherwise we won't going to be able to see it. There we go. Ambulance going by, right. So we're going to play this shot. It's a bit straight to get onto this red. So if we play it with left hand side, we're going to hit the cushion here and that'll mean it breaks wider and hopefully we'll get on the red. So let's hopefully be playing with left hand side now. I'm going to have to move the camera, that's well in the way there. Right. Go back this side. Right, here we go. So, what we're going to need to do, and you can't even see the white again. Right, we'll get there in a second. Okay, to start off with, playing a shot this hard, left hand side is going to make it spin that way. It's going to make it spin in that direction. So you've just got to allow for that. And it's really important before you go to play it, you know how hard you're going to play the shot. So you've got to have in your mind an idea of how hard you're going to play it. Once you've done that, you're just going to pick a spot on the cue ball like normal, or object ball like normal, but you're allowing for the fact that the cue ball's going to go that way. Now on the cloth, when it has left hand side on it, it'll be going up the table there, but this is too fast a shot for that to happen. Also, when we flick it, spin, when we hit the black, not very much because of the speed we're playing it at again, is going to push that way, but it's worth bearing in mind that you need to factor that in just a little bit. And I still can't pod it. Right, hang on, we'll get there a second. So this is serious. Right. So I'm picking the spot on the object ball. You just got to allow for the amount of side and the pace you're playing it at. Then the side takes off the cushion and we get on the red like that. Let's see. What you want to make sure you do is when you're playing a shot like this, is make sure that you're really confident on the at the start of a game. You don't play it too early on, basically, and you make sure you're 100% happy potting before you start playing these shots, because they're very easy to miss if you haven't played them a lot. So I'll come over here a bit. The microphone's over here and I'm aware the fan. I didn't realise I can only talk into my computer on this. Not a lot is the answer to that. It's not going to throw a lot wider. So let's play the same shot with backspin. Obviously now on this shot we're going to be playing it right hand side to come off the cushion with reverse side. Let's go over here. So the cue ball's going to break a lot wider. The black's hardly going to notice that we've got any side on the cue ball. And hopefully we can pop this. Didn't pot it clean, so we didn't get quite on the red as I intended, but we're just going to hopefully, let's give this another go. It'll hardly affect the black at all. The black's going to go, when the cue ball hits the black, it's hardly going to adjust the line the black takes, basically. So let's try this again. Nope. That was slightly worse. It's just, all it is you're throwing the cue ball's throwing in that direction. It's throwing out wide like that. It's worth a few goes this because I'm struggling with it. Right, we will get there. Bit sticky as well, that's a slight issue today. There we go, we're getting somewhere near it now. Oh right, I see. You're worried about more of a shot with backspin when you're not putting side on the ball. Not really, though it is, when you're not used to playing, say, a cut shot like this with backspin. I don't know where we can go to show this easiest. We'll go back on the main camera a second. So if we imagine this shot here, when you start coming down here and you're trying to cut that in with backspin, it feels like it's different. And it feels like you've got to cut it more and you can't ever seem to get anywhere near the pocket. But it's probably just the fact you're not quite striking the cue ball in the centre and it's doing different things every time. And doing it like that, to be fair. Because it's not easy playing this shot. It's not easy me doing anything at the moment by the look of it. There we go. So what we're doing is exactly the same as we were before, just lining the shot up, exactly the same, that shot, as if we were running it through. So running it through like that will be exactly the same as if we're playing a screw shot. Except I can't point it again. But it's just harder because you're putting all that spin on it. You just got to make sure when you get up to play the shot, you're focused on that point on the object ball where you need to pot it. There we go. No, it does feel like a lot like you've got to change a lot, and playing it with a backspin when you're playing a thin shot like that, it does feel really difficult to do if you're not used to doing it. Right, someone asked about potting balls in the middle pockets. So when you're playing a shot in the middle pocket, let's say this one for example, especially at a thin angle, what you've got to remember is the pace. The more pace you play it with, the more it's going to jump out, which isn't easy. You just got to make sure that you're potting it near to this near jaw, not on the far jaw, and that's not easy to do because if you touch that near jaw, it's not going in. So it's very easy to just push the ball onto the far jaw like that and hope it'll go in. Just like that. I think I need some more practice, guys. This is... Got it this time though. Oh. It's all about the speed though. The more speed you can take off it, the better you'll pop the ball. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing now. Thank you. Right, what we're going to do is a few technical reviews. Some people sent me some videos, so hopefully if I get this right, hang on, we'll just go through the start and hopefully I'll be able to find it. Right. Okay, so we're back in a way. Move to top. Right, okay, this is... What I did is a few people sent me some videos, and Nimal Palmer was one of them, and just wanted me to help, or us to help in general. And let's bring my... You definitely want your own cue, is something I'd say. It's very difficult to play with a different cue or someone else's cue every single time. Right, here we go. So, if I go to this video a second, where did I put it? Here we are. Right, we're going to look at this guy's technique a second. So he sent us this video, and as you can see here, not too bad, but a few things going wrong. Obviously he's missing pots quite a bit, as you can see here. So if I'll stop it here, that's the next one to do. But hang on, let's find a few places in this. Now hang on, let's get the right place. As you can see here, his cue action is massively, massively long. Yep. So this cue action here, and I don't know, hang on, we'll put it, we'll go back to OBS here. Right. Hopefully I'll get in a position where I can show you this. When you play the shot like this, this is the first thing I noticed. Your cue action, I mean, you're a long way back from the shot to start off with, but your cue action, and let me get this on the other camera because it might be easier. Here we go. Find a good position I can put it in. That's about right. When you're playing shots like this, your cue action seems like it's massive. So you're a long way back and you are just literally pulling back so far and then you're playing the shot. And it's really difficult to be accurate when you're doing that. And if you don't need that sort of distance or that sort of power when you play the shot, then I really suggest just making everything a lot more compact. So when you're playing it like this, you know, see I'm closer, I'm not right at the back of the cue, not all the way back here, I'm a bit closer up to it like this. Still arms going straight down, you're doing that absolutely perfectly by the look of it. And you don't need to bring the cue back really any more than you need to. So if you're not playing the shot very hard, you only need that, really. And doing that, you're moving the cue less, and there's a lot less that can go wrong when you play the shot. So when you're playing it, you're sort of coming all the way back here and playing it. It's very hard to be accurate like that. So what you're going to want to do, just like I said, go a bit shorter. If you're not playing it too hard, then don't bring the cue all the way back and still play the shot like that. And you'll be a hell of a lot more accurate doing that. Right. The other thing I noticed slightly was about your stance. I don't know if we're going to be able to, let's see if we can see it from the other side of the table. Come round here. And adjust the light a second. Right, the other thing you're doing is you're standing a little bit too close together. So you're standing a bit too close and your feet are in a line, sort of like this. You just want your left foot, in this case, is you're right-handed. You just want your left foot slightly in front of the other one, just like this. Like that sort of thing. It's not too bad, you're just a little bit tight, I felt. And the other thing I think I noticed, now I did know somebody who used a similar technique to this and it actually worked well for them, so maybe, what do I know, but let's just for a second, Jewel keeps going. Right, here we go. I'm back. Right, when you go follow through the shot, what you're tending to do is bring your arm all the way through to about here. Now that is very difficult to do, particularly because when you play a shot like that, hopefully you can see from this angle, you've got to go around your body like that, and that's causing your cue to go sideways. So what I definitely suggest you do when you're playing these shots, even though you don't follow through quite as much, is stopping the cue action there. So you're not going all the way through to there and round your body. When you get to your body, just stop. As long as you get about that far through, you're going to be okay. Other than that, I thought you were doing pretty well. Everything seems to be spot on other than that, and it's probably just that incredibly long cue action that you're actually having trouble with. Which one am I going to? Right, the next. Let's get into the next one then. It is hot, I'll tell you that now. I was doing this in the winter, I was like, yes, hat, brilliant. Right, hang on, let's find the next one. Next one came to us from Elliot B. And I have to tell you, I can't find, I'll see what you guys think in a second. Can't find a lot wrong with his cue action. So if I'm just gonna get to the right place, here he is. Can't find a lot wrong with his cue action. He sent me a few more videos of this. I have watched them all, but this was really the only angle I found maybe a tiny fault. He looks absolutely solid and absolutely still on the shot. He seems to be staying down really well. Watch as he plays the shot, follows through nicely, stays down. His legs seem to be absolutely perfect in the right place. We've reached the end. Have I lost the video now? Well, that's not good, is it? Who knew that happened? Okay. Anyway, having looked at you, having looked at your technique, got to get another camera back again. Why did I change it? That one. Okay. Only thing, possibly, it could have just been the camera angle, that you seem to do even slightly wrong. You can see from here. And this is only a possibly because you looked incredibly solid with everything you were doing. Was just, get the balls in the right position a second. When you came into the shot like this, your feet were exactly in the right place. It's just your left knee, maybe, if from what I can see is right, was coming in a bit. Just a little bit. And that can cause you to do this a bit on the shot. Hang on, put the camera up a bit. So your left knee coming in this way, not as much as I'm doing, I'm exaggerating it massively. It was only doing it a bit like that. But that could result in you twisting on the shot a little bit if it gets under pressure. That's the only thing I could find wrong with your cue action. And if you are struggling, which you don't seem to be, I would definitely not worry about the technical elements of your technique. Right. Hang on. No. This is what we're doing. Right, we're back. Right, back to what we were doing before, and we're looking. Archibald sent us a comment. He wants to know about slow screw shots or slow screw back shots. It's quite a while ago. Hope you're still here. So. When you're playing these shots, quite often, what you'll find is I'm hoping this is what you mean by this, but that you're just trying, say you just want a little, maybe even just slowly and accurately come up for the pink. You're not looking to get a lot of distance on the cue ball, you're just looking to play a small accurate shot. So what you want to really do when you're doing this is just take a bit of time to get used to playing shots in this way. You want to just have quite a slow cue action when you play the shot. Play it quite low and very deliberately. I'm practicing 2 months, so my stance grip is perfect. My basic. Please help me if possible. Please make a video. I'm trying to make some videos. This is slowing me down a little bit today, but I am trying to make some videos. Right, so basic potting. As I've said before, and you may have tried this, let me know if you have. Try, just to start off with, lining straight shots up like this. And if I swap cameras again, got to be a faster way of doing this. Right, go a bit lower. You'll be able to see, well, you won't be able to see it right now, but when you play the shots, you'll be able to see the reflection of the white and the red. And I say, just to start off with, try imagining your Q-tip has got to hit the reflection in the red. So you're hitting the white here, straight through the centre. You're trying to hit the red right in the middle with your Q-tip. Forget the cue balls there. Just line up the straight shot and try and hit the middle of the cue ball, or middle of the object ball exactly, and hit it exactly straight. And you saw that. We hit it with a bit of left-hand side there because it's gone right off to the left. The red went a little bit to the left of the pocket. So you can just try this a few times until you hit the ball exactly straight. Because the chances are what you're doing wrong is you're not actually lining the shot up where you think. You're probably lining it up right and it's just not hitting where you think it is. And you just can give that a go and get a little bit faster over time, and eventually that should help you out. You can try it both sides of the table and eventually just keep lining it up straight. And eventually start playing it harder, playing stun shots until every shot you play, because that really wasn't straight, goes exactly in a straight line. And then you'll learn the right technique, because that's the thing that will allow you to play those shots exactly the way you want to play them. Hope that's going to be a bit helpful. Right. I have consistently a problem with my game and I miss shots often. I doubt if I have something to do with my vision. I like to know what you see when you're aiming for a dead straight shot. And a lot of the time, so would I. No, seriously though. What you want to be looking for, like I said, what you want to be imagining is you can see, or hopefully you can see, the reflection of the white and the red if you do a similar shot to this. And you just got to imagine that you're lining it up to hit that shot point exactly where you want to hit it. For example, on that shot. Now, if you can imagine a Q-tip, so whatever the angle is, if you can imagine where the centre of the ball needs to be, you can imagine a Q-tip. And I mean, I'm not even, it's not like I'm seeing there's a Q-tip there. I'm just walking in. I usually push my cue up like this when I play it, so I can imagine the line that the cue ball's going to take and hit the point, that point on the object ball. And hopefully when a shot is dead straight, you can see that point and that reflection. And you just play the cue to it on that case, and just on even longer shots, if you're not exactly where you want to, then it's not going to be going in. Well, hey, that's hit the camera. Right. What's the best way to clear the last 6 colours? This is something we can actually cover. Right, I've done this in a video before, but we'll show you guys anyway. Where's the black? Right, we're going to swap cameras because it's going to be easier. Okay, there's a red on the table. Now to start off with, wherever you land on the yellow, you can place on the yellow several different positions. Doesn't really matter, you're just looking dead straight on the green. So looking here on the green, ideally dead straight. You can leave it to play off this side cushion, but anyway, let's say whatever we're trying to do, whether we're straight on the yellow like this or we've got an angle like this, we're looking to come back across the table to leave ourselves a straight green and hopefully not miss the yellow. Okay, so I'm going to do it again, not talking through it. Right, so that's not ideal, but we're still okay, because ideally we want to be here. That's perfect where my hand is. But because we've got this angle, all we've got to do is drop it in and come back off the side cushion. And this is, now we're perfect on the brown. This is exactly where we want to be, because we don't want to be too far down here. We've got to play a screw shot. We want a nice angle so it will go down the table. On this shot, we want to be fairly straight on the blue. You don't want to go past straight though. So you don't want to come this side. But where I am now is nearly perfect. Might be able to drop it in. Can't quite drop it in, so we're going to have to play it with right hand side off the top cushion. Now, very important when you're going on the pink is to be this side. You don't want to be coming down too far this way. And if you're, say I'm right-handed, I'm going to be playing for this side of the table. If you're left-handed, I definitely try to play for that side of the table, just because if I'm right-handed, I can reach over here quite easily. Right, so let's give this a go. So we're playing off the top cushion with right-hand side. And my cushions are dead and I'm still not used to them. Disastrous shot there. Hi Nimrod Palmer, I've done your video review. I'll go over it again a little bit in a minute. I've done your video review already, but we'll have a look quickly at what you could do wrong. So you'll be able to see it back, play it back, but I'll have a look at it in a second. So anyway, where are we with this? You want to be here stunning down really. You don't ideally want to be running it through because that's not the middle. Because you want to be anywhere really between here and dead straight. So that's right in the middle. So I'd always try to be there. And then we get into this position. Ideally you want to be as straight as you can on the black. Right. Nimrod Palmer, like I said, we've done your video review already. We had a look at your technique. And what I basically said, don't know why we need a black. Now I'm going to get the camera back again and I'll show you quickly. don't know what I'm doing. Right. Okay. What we noticed when we looked at your shot, and I thought in general you were doing wrong. So the only thing was when you were playing the shot, your cue action, to be fair, was a bit like this. You were all the way back here and you're really long big cue action when you're playing the shot, and it's quite difficult to pot a ball accurately when you're doing that. So really, what you want to be doing is shortening up your cue action. So if you don't have to hit it really, really hard, just come a bit shorter on it. You can't see where I am. Hang on. So on there. So if you're not hitting it as hard, then have a shorter cue action so you don't have to bring the cue back so far. Yeah, you can see that. So even if you just need that, as long as you're not, it doesn't cause you to like push or have a jerky motion on it, you can push through nice and smoothly. Shorten up your cue action a bit like that and you'll pop a lot more balls. Another thing we looked at, so when you're playing the shot and you follow through, and you're following through the shot, when you're hitting it, you're actually playing the shot and your arm is coming right through your body like that. Now that's really difficult to do and play shots accurately like that. So what I'd really suggest you do is just, you're going to be holding your cue along your body, because when you're playing the shots, you're coming round, you're coming all the way round. Oh, it's not the right place. When you're hitting the ball, you're sort of coming all the way round the shot, so you're playing it a bit more like that. And it's very difficult if you're bringing your hand round your body like that to pop the ball accurately. What you want to do is just bring your hand up to your body like that. So hands up to my body like that, and don't go any further, because if you've got to go round your body, you're going to be bringing your elbow out and flicking side on the ball. So that's very difficult to... 31, I think. Am I 31? Yeah. And a lot. Right, there's that. And quickly, possibly, your stance, you're a little bit too close to, your feet are in line like this when you're playing the shot. You're right-handed. So when you've got a shot like this, you're, well, hey, cam stood up. Right, so you're actually got your feet in line like this, rather than having one foot very slightly forward, which will allow you to have better balance. And I thought those were basically the three things you were getting wrong on the shot. But it wasn't too much. Most of your techniques were solid. So if you can just sort all those three things out, you'll start to pot a lot more balls. Right. That's not right. Doesn't matter, we don't need that now. Okay, move to bottom. There we go. So, quick question for you guys. Right, next question. What was the highest break you guys have had this week? Yeah, seriously, Nimar, if you just sort out that cue coming all the way through your body, if you just stop there when you play the shot, I think it's going to make a lot more difference, because you get when you play the shot, you're bringing your arm a long way back and you're coming all the way through. And you don't necessarily need to do that every single shot. On the simpler shots, if you're just using as little cue action as possible, you're going to be a lot more accurate. The only thing I can suggest, if you're putting left hand side, I've done a whole video, you have to find it, about how to make this stupid thing, right? How to make this stupid thing that you can, this just shows you, this is basically just the width of the ball. That shows you exactly what the width of the ball is, and you can just practice a few times. Hang on, get it to the right place. So you can just put it on the end of your cue like that. Find my chalk wherever that's gone again. It's been an issue today. And then that will just show you that you're hitting the cue ball exactly in the centre. As you see, I'm twisting the cue to the right when I played that. That's why it touched the table. If you just give that a few goes, it'll, a few goes later, it'll start to show you where the centre of the cue ball is. Just be very careful you don't pull your tip off, which I'm very concerned I'm about to do here. Nope, we're alright. Yeah, only your left leg a little bit in front. Yeah, that's exactly right, Nimar. And if you get all that right, I think you're going to improve a hell of a lot by the look of it, because you're doing mostly everything other than that exactly right. Yeah, I used to play with Lee Walker ages and ages ago. I don't think I ever beat him, I'll tell you that much. He played down here quite a few years ago. Yeah, you don't want to get... Wow, I've got some balls in this pocket. Yeah, to be fair, sight right seems expensive, and I don't 100% know exactly what it does, so that's interesting. Nobody's told me yet. But from what I've heard, it works spot on. But yeah, I mean, if you want to hit the middle of the ball, just give that thing a few goes a day, and then it might make a difference, might not. I don't know really. I've been playing snooker ever since I was very, very young. So I mean, I wish I could play better, but I don't know what we're doing now. Yeah, if you're talking about Lee Walker, then yes. Thank you, Si. Right, we're going to end soon, guys, so if you've got any more questions, then let me know quickly. So I feel like I've been rambling for ages. Oh, 25, guys, well done. Sorry, I missed that. I'm actually going to have to Google where that is. Okay, line of aim on a shot. First thing you want to do, can you see me if I'm here? I need to get a wider, I didn't realise how narrow my webcam was. Yeah, you can see me here. Okay. So I know this is a basic shot, but this is the only place you can see me from. So start off with, walk in on the line of the shot. So to do that, you're going to need to know where your Q-tip's going to hit the red. This is a straight shot, for example. So we're going to be walking in, looking in at that point, getting down on the shot, and then you should have a quick look back at your cue, and you should be able to see along your cue that you're hitting where you're aiming, hopefully. And if that's the right place, you're just going to pull back the cue and play the shot. Now, if you're talking about a thinner shot, probably not the way this yeah, we will do. If you want to, if anybody wants to send me some more videos to review like I did earlier, or have a look see what I did, then that's fine. We will do them maybe once every month, every couple of months, just because it's the easiest way to talk to you guys, and I rarely get a chance to get back to you because I'm making videos quite a lot. Show deep screw shot. Right, very easy. Since I've had this table root cloth, a lot easier to show a deep screw shot. Basically, you just got to make sure you're following through the ball quite a lot, with a lot of speed, and you're hitting it as low as you think you can. That really wasn't very good, but as somebody said, it's the middle of the summer, it's very sticky. Right, thanks for everybody. Hang on, we got to. Really, you can get away with only practicing once or twice a week, believe it or not, but you will improve a little bit. The more you practice, obviously, the more you improve. But if you're doing the right things, especially if you don't change your mind when you're playing the shot, you work out what you're doing before you get to the shot and then play it, you'll improve. If you sort of just if you're changing your mind on the shot, you'll probably stay at the same level. So I'd just say that. But the more you practice, if you're doing that right, and the more you practice, you'll start to improve. Thank you. Right, I think it's about time we wrap this up. If you, like I said, if you want to get your technique reviewed, post the video. My email address will be in the description. Need more stuff. Yeah, post. There's my email address in the description. Send me a link to the video, and we'll have a look at your technique. If you want me to do that in future, we might be able to look at a couple of months' time. Thanks to everybody for watching. We got up to 30 people. We're climbing, and I'm stopping now, unfortunately. I'm just getting way too hot. So thanks for everybody who's had a look, and thanks for all the questions. You guys have been great. Thanks for all the subscribing and everything else, and the likes and the advice on the technical side of everything. I've got so much help from everybody. So thanks everybody, and we're going to cut the stream right now. Thank you.